G'day, battlers, and today we are jumping in to take a look at Beckachu25's winning run through a 7-round Lunar Cup tournament, which is an absolutely huge accomplishment. I mean, that's as big of a tournament as you're allowed to have in these COVID times, so seriously, really well done there. And Beckachu, he's a guy that I kind of met through Matt Brewer, so I'm going to leave a link to Matthew Brewer's channel in the description down below. He does more Silph content if you want to check out more of that in your life, so definitely do give that a look if you're so inclined. Now, we'll jump straight into it and take a look at Beckachu's team there over on the right at the bottom, who's got that Crustle, who is actually running Fury Cutter, he told me on Matt Brewer's advice, and then also running a Mandibuzz. I'm not sure what the moveset is, we're just going to have to wait and find that out later. I've got these Wireless, the Raichu, which is not a Charm Chew, but I think that a lot of people in this cup may suspect that it might be a Charm Raichu, just because it is a bit of a rock, paper, scissors breaker, so you can kind of flip a lot of matchups easily in your favor if that's the case, so I think a lot of opponents are going to be expecting that Charm. Then I've also got the Heracross, who I think is running Close Combat Rock Slide. I think I saw a frame of it as I was making sure I had all the videos fine. And then I've also got the Rose Raid there as well as that fire coverage, which is such an important role in this cup with all of the bugs. I mean, just look at Ragul's team. I can definitely do a bit of work there. And Ragul, who has a team of Umbreon, Zweilous, Escavalier, Crustle, Rose Raid, and actually also running Raichu. I don't think I've actually had an opponent that has had Raichu yet, but kind of interesting that we're seeing two straight away. But running that Escavalier as the counter user, I feel like Heracross generally has a little bit of a pretty decent time there, but we're going to jump straight into it here. We're actually pilfering the videos from YouTube. Beckachu's uploaded them to YouTube, and then we're doing it, grabbing it from there. But we've got a Heracross up against Crustle lead, which is not a great spot because it looks like that is a Smackdown Crustle. You can see that these Smackdowns are seriously adding up, but if Heracross can get these rock blasts through, it's definitely going to do a lot of damage back because of the bug typing. So they're kind of keeping pace a little bit. Crustle getting to his first charge move here and getting the first shield out of that Heracross. And actually seeing this swap out into Raichu, you can actually see the counter is doing a lot of damage there, and we're going straight for the close combat, which is going to absolutely nuke if it lands, but no land. So throw it, you debuff yourself, you swap out to the Crustle, and now Crustle is pretty much going to be able to tank any move from actually Wild Charge. I'm not sure how much Wild Charge would do, but Beef Breaker is going to be neutral. We might see a Wild Charging in a Crustle later on in this tournament, especially if Beckachu's Raichu does have it. But landing that Rock Slide, taking out the Raichu, Crustle comes in, and it is the Smackdown, which means it's slower to the charge moves than Beckachu's will be, so it gets this X-Scissor off really nice and fast. It's not going to take out that Crustle quite, but a few more Fury Cutters just means that it's going to be energy ready to go. Might be able to get, oh my, Umbreon coming in. Umbreon is going to be doing no fast move damage at all, which means that Beckachu is going to be able to get this X-Scissor off. Potentially could have got another one off. Probably not though. I mean, Umbreon would have been able to get a charge move off to take it out. So brings in the Zweilous, and at this point it's pretty much GG's. I don't think there's really a way for Ragul to come out of this one with any sort of health left. So Body Slam coming out from the Zweilous here, a really spammy little thing. And I guess that's kind of what Beckachu's team sort of reminded. It was a very sort of spammy team. All three Pokemon on his team were able to throw those fast charge moves. The X's from the Crustle with that Fury Cutter charging it up fast. Heracross able to get to those Rock Blasts fairly quickly as well. And then this Wireless, you know, Dragon Breath, hard hitting move, really constant, and then able to get those Body Slams off as well. Able to finish off there, I think, without letting a single Pokemon faint. Now jumping into round 2, there was a little bit of a YouTube problem there, as I probably should have expected, but we are jumping into a really rough lead with the Mandibuzz into Raichu. Whether that is Charm or Volt Switch would not be great, and it was the Volt Switch. So we see the swap into Heracross, getting that energy advantage. You can see the Heracross already has tons of energy, and the Zweilous swapping is actually really interesting because it's not like a counter. Like, you're still seeing that Zweilous take super effective damage from these counters, so able to just keep on farming, burn the shield, and now throwing that Rock Blast, which will take out the Zweilous if it goes through, which it is going through. So I'm kind of interested to see what Ragul's strategy is here. Maybe they've got something else that's kind of weak to it in the back as well. Maybe they've just got Crustle. They didn't want to, it looks like they do have Crustle, just didn't want to get hit by these Rock Blasts, because again, they are going to do a fair bit of damage. So I'm kind of expecting a shield to come out there. There's the shield, and then going to be taken down here by those heavy hitting Smackdowns. And at this point, bringing in the Mandibuzz, because Mandibuzz had two options. It could A, come out against Crustle, or it could B, come out against Raichu, and it's going to be able to hold on a little bit better up against that Raichu, able to get these charge moves off. And actually, we're seeing this Raichu swap out, and this is fine as well, because it's going to be able to get this Dark Pulse off. Dark Pulse, the more heavy hitting move as opposed to the Foul Play, costs 5 extra energy, but we're just going to let Mandibuzz go at this point. Oh, it was a Brick Break. Maybe trying to get that last shield out of Beckachu and not able to get that extra charge move. That's actually really unfortunate. We'll see if it does end up costing the battle here, but I think Crustle only needs to get to a Rock Slide. You could potentially go for an X-Scissor and try and Fury Cut it down, but it looks like we are going to be eating a charge move from this Raichu. I think we've only seen Brick Break so far. It is a wild charge, and that definitely does a lot of damage. Oh my gosh. Oh, dearie me. I mean, this is going to take out the Raichu, but there's still a Crustle in the back, and one Smackdown is all it needed to take that out. And that is now 1-1 in round 1. So jumping into the third battle now. Again, hopefully the YouTube thing doesn't bite me in the butt a little bit. It already did, kind of, because my internet went out. It's raining at the moment. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but it kind of took out the internet right when I was about to record. So we're back. So we'll see how we go. Looks like there is a little bit of a wait time in this video, so I'm skipping ahead. There we go. All right, we're seeing the Raichu lead into these wireless, which is not a terrible spot to be in, but it's not great. I mean, Raichu does have those Brick Breaks, which is definitely going to do tons of damage, but again, you can see how fast these Dragon Breaths are just adding up damage onto this Raichu, so it's a little bit scary. But still in a pretty good spot. I mean, that Brick Break bringing it down to half health and getting that full Volt Switch through as well. Really, really nice for Beckachu. Tanking the Body Slam and will definitely be able to get to another Brick Break before going down, which kind of forces Ragul to decide whether they want to have Switch Advantage or Shield Advantage. And, oh no, it hangs on! Oh, no. That's actually really rough for Beckachu there, but brings in the Crustle, able to get a little bit of energy. And the Smackdown Crustle coming back in, having that little bit of energy would have been like awesome through the moon if that was also a Fury Cutter Crustle, but because he got Smackdown, able to outpace it anyway, and landing the Rock Slide, really, really unfortunate call on Ragul's, and their Beckachu doing tons of damage. Shield Summon X-Scissor, but that is absolutely fine, and the double swap into the Heracross versus Raichu. Not actually a bad spot for Beckachu, but it's going to be a little bit close, because Ragul still has both of their shields, whereas Beckachu only has one, so I think Beckachu is probably going to be able to counter all the way down, burn one shield. Crustle might have to finish the job, but we'll see how we do. We'll see if Heracross is able to get to another charge move. The back-to-back, I'm not sure if that's a Brick Breaker or another Wild Charge, but it is a Wild Charge, so that's going to take Heracross out. The defense is going to be debuffed on the Raichu, going to be able to Fury Cut all the way down, have a ton of energy, still has to burn that shield from Ragul. So here's the X-Scissor, trying to get that last shield, and then only needs to get a little bit more damage through, and that Crustle is going to be going down here. And I don't think that Crustle had much in the way of energy, but able to take that round out regardless. And so we'll hop over into boom. Oh, that's getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, up against Saran 2004-0806. Hopefully that's not their credit card number or something, but they've got that Crustle, Umbreon again, Zweilous, Roserade, Alolan Graveler, and Beedrill. Beedrill is actually another really interesting pick in this cup. I don't think it's one that I've really seen necessarily, but I think that Beckachu is running a pretty standard line, right? So, but the fact that they don't have Mandibuzz, which is actually a pretty surprising pick here, kind of means that Raichu is probably going to be benched. Oh, but it does have a lot of plagues. It still has the Brick Breaks, can hurt the Umbreons, the Zweilous, the Alolan Gravelers. Still got those Wild Charges that hurts everything. So it's a really interesting Pokemon. So we'll jump into the battle here. Again, we'll just skip right to here, and we're jumping in with taking a look at a Crustle v Crustle lead. Do we see a Fury Cutter on the other side, or it looks like that is just a Fury Cutter mirror match, so not the end of the world. And if Saran went for it at the same time, that is CMP going in Beckachu's favor and going straight for the Rock Slide and doesn't shield. Oh my gosh, that's huge. And Beckachu burning the shield here, which guarantees that they win this matchup, and they went for the Rock Slide as well, so really, really nice call. Fury Cuttering all the way down, and has energy to throw at this Alolan Graveler, which isn't a bad matchup for Crustle. Like, generally, I think Graveler does win these in the even shields, but that Rock Slide just packs a serious punch, and you can see how low that Graveler is. And this is Beckachu's lead Pokemon, right? Like, this is a lot of damage coming from the very start. So, not burning a shield here, letting the Rock Blast come through, take it out, and at this point, actually bring in the Zweilous. So I guess knowing that Zweilous can tank a charge move from the Graveler a little bit better than a Heracross could, even though Heracross would be taking it down faster, and we're actually seeing the swap into the Roserade. So at this point, you could do a few different things here. You could burn the shield and keep Zweilous around, throw a Body Slam, throw a Dark Pulse even. Or that's actually really, really nice identification from Beckachu, knowing that they weren't going to be taken out by that Weather Ball, throwing the Body Slam, getting that shield, and now Heracross is able to come in, is going to have to burn a shield on this Fire Weather Ball. And I actually feel like Roserade is going to get to another Fire Weather Ball before Heracross can do anything. So this, I mean, oh yeah, I think this could be GG's. Going for the Rock Blast, sorry, but this is gonna take the last shield from Roserade. Switch Timer isn't up yet, so we're gonna be eating a. Whoa! Wait, why was there not a Weather Ball? I feel like they should have got another weather ball. Should they not? I mean, let me know in the comments, but it feels like that Roserade must have had the charge move ready. Maybe they were trying to make sure they had one for the back as well. I'm not sure, but going into the Heracross versus Graveler in the lead really, really nicely. Seeing the swap out to Roserade. It is the Poison Jab Roserade. Maybe my matchup knowledge on Poison Jab Roserade is just off, and it actually didn't get to the Fire Weather Ball there, but either way, able to swap into the Swires in a pretty good spot here. Roserade does have access to Dazzling Gleam, so if they've decided to run it, that could definitely, I mean, it's going to one-shot its Wireless, but Beckachu definitely in a really, really strong position here. Going for the Body Slam, and they're already at a shield disadvantage, so Saran just has to let that Roserade go down, else that would be a down 2-0 shields, which is not where you want to be in the Lunar Cup. You really don't want to get, it's really important to not get that deep in the shield disadvantage, but able to get one Body Slam off onto the Crustle just to weaken it down a little bit. Crustle deciding to get tons of energy though, so really trying to get that shield back out of Beckachu. Seeing the Crustle come in, we know that the play here is shield the Rock Slides, don't shield the X-Scissors. That's the dealio, and is successfully able to call the Rock Slide. And at this point, I'm kind of thinking this might be an X-Scissor. But oh, it's another Rock Slide. Okay, really nice from the opponent there. And the swap out to a Alolan Graveler. Interesting that Beckachu's going for the Rock Blast here. Obviously, they could swap to Heracross and do tons of damage with that counter, but able to get that last shield, that's actually really, really nice. You're able to burn the shield here, farm all the way down, and then just unload onto the Crustle in the back, and I'm pretty much guaranteed to take it out. Heracross should win CMP against Crustle as well. So there shouldn't be any concerns about Crustle getting a charge move off first or anything like that. So Heracross able to take it out. Really, really nicely done there from Beckachu. He's had some really nice identification of when he might be winning, when he might be losing, when he can tank that Weather Ball, when he's going to be able to get another Body Slam off, that sort of thing. But we are going to be jumping straight into it now with the Heracross up against the Crustle. Again, this is kind of a weird matchup. It's a little bit like back and forth. Like if that Crustle can land that Rock Slide, it's huge. But again, I keep saying it, but these Rock Blasts, they hurt as well. So ends up burning the shield on the first one. We'll see if the strategy is the same as we saw earlier, where they're going to go for the Rock Slide and then swap out before another Rock Blast can come through. Beckachu going to burn that shield again, and he's actually the X-Scissor bait, which is a little bit scary for Beckachu here. Now has to contend with the fact whether they want to burn another shield, and they don't, and it's a Rock Slide, and it really hurts. Oh my gosh, Beckachu able to hang on and get the charge move. Oh, what was I just saying before about recognizing where the wind conditions were? That's really, really nice there. Razorhead comes in, gets one Poison Jab of energy, but man, I'm impressed. But Crustle comes in here, going to be able to get these X's off real fast. Again, Fury Cutter, really nice. These Fire Weather Balls are going to be neutral because of the Bug and Rock typing, so they're not the end of the world, and Roserade didn't farm up enough for a big nuke move like a Leaf Storm. I'm not sure how much health it has left, but see the swap out to the Graveler. Swirless comes in again, as we kind of saw before. Swirless can tank a move from this Graveler, and then going to be able to unload at least one charge move off. Both players still have a shield at this point, but I think overall, Beckachu's in a pretty good spot because obviously still has that Crustle in the back as well. Crustle doesn't want to take a charge move from this Graveler, so Beckachu has to either just let Zwilus go and keep the shield for that Crustle, or otherwise shield up Zwilus and then farm all the way down. But they've gone for letting this come through, and Beckachu able to get this Body Slam off. Seems like everything is like just going like... It's like Beckachu was just planning this entire match out to go as perfectly as possible, and at this point, these X's are going to be coming off hot and heavy. I feel like this is a matchup where Bullet Seed Roserade would actually be a little bit superior. Like I think I'm the guy. I ran Bullet Seed Roserade in my first tournament, and which is also on the channel as well, by the way. But I feel like, I don't know, I'm not impressed by Poison Jab so far, to be frank. But yeah, another X's are going to come through, going to take that Roserade out, and that's GG's on round 2. Able to take it out, so we'll swap the teams over again. Beckachu now 2-0 in the tournament, going up against Ferns 10 in the third round, who's got that Umbreon again. Umbreon, really popular. Heracross, Frostas, Crustle, Mandibuzz, and Zweiler. So Triple Dark, which is a bit of an interesting team there, and Beckachu going for that Mandibuzz lead, who does have that Snarl up against the Heracross, which is definitely a nice place to be. You have to be a little bit cautious because obviously Heracross does have some moves that are super effective. It's got access to Rock Slide, Rock Blast. There's so many different rock moves. I'm getting very confused. I apologize if I say the wrong one here or there, but it does burn the shield on that Rock Blast. And then just farm, and catching the aerial ace onto Mandibuzz. This is just soaking up damage. Mandibuzz acts as that 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th shields. It is just an absolute sponge. So we're seeing the swap out into Crustle here, which is actually another interesting spot because Crustle isn't great in this matchup, but if you can get those rock slides through, it can actually do tons of damage there and gets that, lands it. And at this point, Crustle can pretty much just go for an X-Scissor to take it out, or you could go for the other play of just trying to Fury Cut it all the way. So tanks the foul play. Can take another one as well, but they're going to go for the X-Scissor to make sure they do win this matchup, because once the fast moves are adding on as well, maybe couldn't have survived all the way. So yeah, Umbreon going to come in here, and at this point Beckachu is just going, I guess Crustle is going to be good against this team then, because I mean, and yeah, it really is, because they've got that Umbreon, they've got that Zweilous, they've got the Mandibuzz, the Triple Dark, Crustle really nice in that spot. You've got the Crustle Mirror Match, you've got Frostlass that doesn't want to eat a Rock Blast, you've got Heracross that also doesn't want to eat a Rock Slide. Sorry, so Crustle is really going to be good for this entire set, but brings the Heracross in, going to be able to tank a charge move from this Umbreon, because Umbreon, known for its bulk, not known for its attack stat, but that last resort actually still does a ton of damage. Seeing the swap out into Heracross at this point, I'm actually wondering if Ferns could potentially, I mean, it's not, the game isn't settled at this point. Burning that last shield on the Rock Blast still has to get a shield out of Ferns, so I feel like this might do the trick, because I think you'd rather keep Heracross around to get another Rock Blast off, rather than letting Umbreon do the work, because Umbreon isn't going to quite do the trick. And I think this is actually going to take Mandibuzz out, which means it's going to be down to the Heracross versus Heracross mirror match. Oh my gosh. What is with Beckachu's Pokemon? It is hanging on with that sliver of HP. I mean, IVs don't matter until they do, right? So, I mean, that opposing Umbreon is going to get a bit of farm there. Farming all the way down, has the close combat ready to go though. So, and again, would have won CMP against an Umbreon. So it's only if there was Niantic things going wrong on Niantic's end, if that Umbreon was able to get the charge move off first. So yeah, able to take that one out, which is really nice there. Crustle in the lead. Again, Crustle really, really strong Pokemon. Not necessarily where you want to be up against Heracross in the lead, just because ideally Crustle is getting more of those charge moves through. Crustle can definitely put the pressure on with the spammy moves, but yeah, I don't know. We're definitely putting on a lot of pressure with these rock slides. Beckachu seemingly go straight for the nuke to make sure that you have to shield or get really hurt, and does get that first shield out of Ferns, and now going from an X-Scissor, maybe just trying to do some damage and then dip, or maybe just trying to put the threat on and maybe, oh, actually gets the shield. I'm not sure if they weren't countering, or if they just really didn't want to get hit by an X-Scissor. But either way, Heracross making sure they don't get hit by another one, going for the Rock Blast, and Beckachu not wanting to go to a shield disadvantage, keeping that shield advantage, brings in the Mandibuzz. At this point, Mandibuzz, oh my gosh, another catch. Like, it's a catch just because it's such a tanky Pokemon that it can tank this charge move, and you'd rather keep that Mandibuzz energy full later on when Mandibuzz might meet that Heracross again. So swapping into the Raichu now. This brief break's definitely going to add up, but it's going to be chip damage, right? Because that Umbreon really, really tanky Pokemon, so it's going to take a few more. And actually burning the shield on this Raichu, I mean, Raichu is pretty squishy as well, so maybe that's the right play, as opposed to letting Mandibuzz do all the work. Mandibuzz would be taking a lot of damage on the back end, and still has to contend with the Heracrosses hanging out. But I don't think we've seen the other Pokemon. I think it was we saw a Heracross lead, and now we're seeing Umbreon. But you could almost go for the Volt Switch down. I feel like Beckachu was kind of maybe contending with it there, but ends up going for the brief break just to be safe. And yeah, Heracross comes in. I'm not sure if that was an over farm. I feel like Beckachu could have thrown the charge move there, and then Mandibuzz would be in a really strong position in the back. Because now it's going to get hit by a Rock Slide. I feel like that, depending on what's in the back, this could be game losing. Not seeing an instant swap either, deciding to maybe just force Mandibuzz to throw its energy now. But I'm interested to see what is in the back. It is the Mandibuzz. At this point, Beckachu just is missing too much health, cannot win this matchup by any means. There is we've seen this, like, if you've been watching the last few tournament recaps on this channel, you see this sort of matchup a lot, where you get that Mandibuzz coming in the back, which is a really, really strong strategy if you can get that the opposing side down enough in health, because they're, again, just no single... Beckachu could have 100 energy, and Ferns would still have this matchup, just because that Mandibuzz would be able to take so much its way. So yeah, really, really nicely strategized from Ferns' end. Able to get the game exactly where they wanted to get it. So we're jumping into the third game here. It is 1-1, I believe, with the I think that's right. And I will skip ahead again. And we've got the Raichu versus Frost that's in the lead. It's actually an interesting matchup that I'm not sure how it goes. I'd imagine that Raichu really wants to land a Wild Charge. So going straight for it again. Beckachu not playing around, going straight for these nukes. Oh my gosh, and landing it as well. That is so unfortunate for Ferns. He's lucky enough to get that charge move off. So it's not the end of the world, but it's a little bit unfortunate there. So down a Pokemon already at the cost of a shield, and in comes Heracross. It's another Wild Charge time, putting on that pressure so hard onto Ferns' side, getting that shield finally. And at this point, just going to let Raichu go all the way down. I know they're going to bring that Mandibuzz in again. A little bit scary, just based on the last game. Has to make sure that this matchup goes the okay way. Maybe keeping that Crustle in the back, knowing that if there is that Mandibuzz in the back, then it's going to have a little bit of play there. Going to get those Rock Slides off. Especially with shields down, but gets that last shield out of the Heracross, and Heracross at this point, you could go either way again, burning the shield or not burning the shield there, and actually goes for the close combat. So that's a big move, and catch so many catches. Beckachu cannot land the first charge move to save his life from this Mandibuzz. Just always getting that Aerial Ace caught, which is, somewhat fortunate, somewhat unfortunate. In this case, I would say pretty strongly unfortunate. The Crustle definitely going to be eating this foul play. Should be able to get to this Rock Slide, but going to need to get to a little more than that to take this Mandibuzz out. So I feel like Beckachu's going to go for that, try and get another X-Scissor off, but it's going to be close-ish. Oh, actually, maybe Mandibuzz just got to the charge move there, but we're actually seeing the undercharge from Beckachu, wanting to get a little bit more energy as well, and still no charge move from the maybe Ferns wanted to get the energy advantage, but I'm getting a little bit confused by these battles. I'll be honest, but we're seeing the Mandibuzz comes in almost at that area. Oh no, whoa, Beckachu. But I don't need to see any overtap losses going on here. That was really, oh man, that was tight. That was tighter than it was supposed to be. Definitely should have just thrown that one once now. Go for the Aerial Ace and be happy days. But either way, 3-0 now going into round 4 up against ShagunBohra. Looks like I should have capitalized the B there. I thought I copied them straight from Silph, but maybe not. But we've got the Mandibuzz, Zawireless, Alolan Graveler, Crustle, Escavalier, and Heracross. So we've got the double Dark, we've got the double Rock, we've got the double Fighter. Shagun has a lot of sort of ABB lines that they can kind of be running here. So it's going to be interesting to see what Beckachu kind of does to maneuver around this. I feel like, look, Crustle has been such a strong Pokemon. I think Crustle is the best Pokemon in the entire Lunar Cup. It's definitely a centralizing figure. So I think that Crustle's probably going to see it stay, probably even on both sides. But I'm not the expert here. Beckachu is the man that has gone ahead to win the 7-round tournament. So we'll jump into it here. And we're seeing the Heracross up against the Mandibuzz. Not a great lead, but and it is a Snarl one as well. But we saw before that it was a Rock Slide close combat Heracross. But swapping into Raichu and burning the shield, which is definitely a little bit rough. But we're seeing the Alolan Graveler come in, so still going to be able to put a lot of hurt onto this Graveler. Just Brick Break Central, just Brick Break, almost at a second one. I don't think it was quite at a second one, but it gets that first shield. Another one coming through, really putting that pressure. I don't think that Shagun's going to shield this one though. Just let that come through because you can definitely tank one. And at this point, I think Graveler's going to... Oh no, Raichu wins Sim. Yeah, I guess Raichu wins CMP, that makes sense. But forcing that last shield out of Shagun to get this charge move off. And at this point, Beckachu could just let Raichu go, because I think Graveler... went for the Sonage as well. That's definitely pretty hurtful. Heracross comes in, clears the way, still has the shield advantage. So when Mandibuzz comes in, able to just... actually going for the close combat. So I guess maybe we're going to see a dip here. Throw the charge move and then bolt, so you're not staying in debuffed. And we're seeing the double swap to the Crustle Mirror. One of these Crustles has Smackdown again though, so putting a lot of hurt onto Beckachu's, but that just means that Beckachu is able to get this Rock Slide off first and then farm all the... Oh no, there's actually a charge move coming through. Is that... Can it get to Rock Slide that fast? Or is it just X-Scissor? Yeah, it is just X-Scissor, but shielding anyway. Which I guess not a terrible play, because Mandibuzz has to burn the charge move to take this Crustle out. Otherwise, Crustle would be putting on too much hurt. So it kind of clears Mandibuzz's energy. Then Heracross can come in, get to this Rock Slide, hopefully. Yeah, able to get to the Rock Slide and take this Mandibuzz out. So really cleanly played there. Really nicely done from Beckachu. And Shagun definitely had a shot. But yeah, the Smackdown versus Fury Cutter moveset, I think, definitely helped in that matchup, which, again, Beckachu did shout out Matt Brewer for helping that decision. I'm a fan of Fury Cutter myself as well, but we're seeing the Roserade going up against that Crustle. Not a great spot. It is a Smackdown, so it makes the matchups a little bit different. I think it might make the matchups better for Roserade, just because they're getting to those X's less fast, but getting that first shield out of Crustle straight away, Roserade down to half health before the first charge move comes through, so shielding up here. And then I guess has the Dazzling Gleam as well, so I guess just going to go for the Fire Weather Ball. We'll see if Beckachu decides to swap out or just let Roserade go down at this point, whether they want to keep that switch advantage, which they very well might do. They're keeping the shield advantage, which is definitely, again, a really, really key thing in the Lunar Cup, but bringing in a Heracross. Heracross doesn't want to eat a Rock Slide from this Crustle, so it burns the shield there, and it's an X is a bait. Really, really unfortunate. There is still able to get the charge move off, so this is actually okay. This is fine. If they went for the nuke, it would have been okay too. And then we're gonna see something any second now. We're seeing the Zwilus come in. So Zwilus not in a great spot. Oh, able to get. Wow, that's actually a little bit unfortunate. Obviously, I'm going to take the Heracross out, and then it's going to be down to the Crustle in the back, and it is the Alolan Graveler. So this Rock Slide is going to do a lot, but I don't think it's going to do a lot. I think this Alolan Graveler might actually have this matchup. Yeah, that's not enough. Alolan Graveler going to be able to throw a Stone Edge here, take out Crustle. This is going to be GG. So I think that puts us at 1-1. I should really be writing this down or have it on screen or something. I think that's one. Oh no, we're going up against Mr. Singh now. Did we lose there? Okay, it actually looks like we are missing round 4, battle 2. So we actually just saw battle 1 and battle 3. I didn't notice that, but I guess I believe, I'm just going to check here. Yeah, it looks like Beckachu did end up losing that second battle. So ended up losing the round to Shagun. So it puts them 1 round down, but obviously you've seen the title. You've heard me at the start of the video. He does end up winning this tournament still. So we are now going for a 6-1 victory. So has to win every single round from this point on if you want to get that platinum badge in this huge 7-round tournament. So going up against Mr. Singh, I'll swap the teams over. Mr. Singh is definitely a person that has shown up on this channel time and time again. They're in these big tournaments. They always perform really well if they get towards these final battles. So, yeah, in round 5 now, who's got the Heracross, the Frostlass, the Crustle, Mandibuzz, Chestnut, and Obstagoon. First Obstagoon we're actually seeing, and Chestnut as well, which is a really interesting Pokemon. We've actually got 3 of the 6 Pokemon with that sort of fighting damage, but I think it's better equipped up against those teams that we saw a little bit earlier, like the sort of triple dark teams that really struggle with that sort of thing. So it's kind of interesting here. And again, because there's the threat of it being a Charm Raichu would be destroying Heracross, Chestnut, Obstagoon, Mandibuzz. Would be hurting the Frostlass as well. Crustle might be a guaranteed from Mr. Singh, just in case it is that Charmchu. So again, we'll jump into it. Bada here. And we have the Heracross Mirror. We'll see what the movesets end up being, who shields, who doesn't. And I'm really jealous, by the way. I do not have a Great League Heracross. But burning the first shield here, it looks like that CMP is going towards Mr. Singh. A little bit unfortunate for Beckachu, but it kind of dictates how you play it a little bit, because you know that if you just match shields, that Beckachu is going to be able to win that matchup at the end of the day. So have to be ready to catch a move, or otherwise not burn a shield, or just be prepared to let it go down. It looks like Beckachu deciding that they're going to let that Rock Blast come through. Looks like the IVs actually might put Beckachu at a health advantage. So Beckachu actually might still... Oh, okay. No. We're still seeing this simultaneous KO. Both of them recognizing they want to keep the shield full later on, as opposed to going shield disadvantage. And we see the swap definitely going in Beckachu's favor with the Raichu into Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz going straight for the charge move, not swapping out, which makes me think that they might have something else. There's not really anything else that's super weak to Raichu in the back. Yeah, I'm not sure what they might have if they're not swapping out from the Mandibuzz matchup. But eating that Wild Charge definitely hurts. It is the Chestnut in the back, so I guess in Wild Charge it's going to do a lot of damage to anything. But definitely doing a lot of damage. I mean, it looks like that might be a Smackdown Chestnut. So it's definitely a lot of damage here. The X's are neutral because of the fighting typing. And then going to be able to get to another one, I think, before any sort of superpower. I feel like that Chestnut might be going for that double superpower, as Chestnuts tend to do. or just going for the energy ball, or farming all the way down and going to have tons of energy to throw at this Raichu. Oh, and gets the charge move off first. That's nice. But Raichu's now going to be debuffed and with not a lot of health up against that Mandibuzz. Oh wait, Mandibuzz is gone? I promise I'm paying attention. But yeah, I was able to take that first battle out. Mandibuzz did already go down, but we're seeing the Heracross up against the Chestnut now. Gonna burn the shield here, because Heracross is a squishy Pokemon. It kind of wants a shield against everything. So we do see the superpower going straight, not going for the double, the back-to-back superpower, which I guess is to make sure that you're getting that pressure onto the Heracross as early as possible. It's definitely an interesting strategy there, but I didn't see what we swapped into, but Beckachu deciding to unleash the Rock Blast. It is the Crustle, so actually that would definitely do a lot before swapping into the Crustle off their own. Looks like, again, we're in that spot where the opposing Crustle has Smackdown. I didn't realize how popular Smackdown Crustle was. Up the Fury Cutter Crustles of the world, and boom, that is exactly why. No shields, able to take it out in an instant. This Exeter going to be able to take the Chestnut out as well. Bada bing, bada boom, and again, no matter what is in the back, this Crustle has some play. It doesn't have tons of health, so this Frostlass, able to get to the rock slide. Oh man, the Crustle will just sweep, doing so much work with Beckachu. That Crustle deserves a raise, because I mean, there's a reason that it's got such a monolith on its back, because it carried that game. That is absolutely huge. Really, really nicely done. And again, evident, just proving that Crustle is such an important Pokemon in this cup. But again, we're in this Crustle versus Heracross lead. We've seen this one earlier in the video. Not quite at the rock slide, but going for the Exeter, maybe hoping they didn't quite count their Fury Cutters or the like, but shielding up the Rock Blast. We'll see if this does end up getting a shield out of that Heracross. Does get the shield. Nicely done. Very nice there. Almost at the rock slide as well. There we go. Able to get there before that Heracross throws another move, which is really, I mean, you'll have to see it. As Beckachu getting that last shield as well. And at this point, you've got the Raichu and Zweilous in the back, so you don't actually have... Beckachu doesn't have a great counter to this Heracross. I mean, you'd probably bring in the Raichu just because it's not taking super effective damage, but the counters are still adding up. I think we actually saw this matchup earlier on as well. But yeah, the counters are adding up here. Shielding up the Rock Blast, at this point, you can probably go for a full farm down. Or not letting the full farm down happen. In comes the Crustle, and is the Smackdown again, so doing tons of damage to Raichu. Missed a bubble on that Wild Charge, if that's alright. Still going to do tons. Swapping his Wireless, farm all the way down before an Exeter can come through. There's a tiny bit of health on the Heracross, and in comes the Frostlass. And did not have enough of an energy advantage to get that Dark Pulse off, unfortunately, which is definitely rough. So now this Raichu just needs to get that Wild Charge off, I think. So yeah, one Volt Switch, one Wild Charge. I don't think the Heracross has a charge move. Heracross or Crustle? Heracross, one Volt Switch, all you needed. That didn't get very low, but Beckachu able to take out round 5. So we are now 4-1, 4-1 in the tournament. And now going into round 6 up against Zubzo. I skipped ahead a little bit too far there, but bring the teams up. And we have these Wireless, Mandibuzz, Alolan Graveler, Escavalier, Crustle, and Lantern. So, I mean, if you've been completely unfamiliar with the Lunar Cup until now, it's probably a little bit evident that the teams are pretty centralized. The meta is pretty centralized in terms of people using those same meta mons. And it's just about being prepared for those same meta mons. Make sure your team has all of the coverage that you need, which Beckachu was saying that he definitely does have here, with that Roserade kind of providing that fire coverage that sort of makes sure you don't have this big glaring weakness that I've certainly run into in the past. But Zubzo's got that, he's got the Lantern as well, which is a really interesting Pokemon. I'm actually in a tournament battle up against a Lantern at the moment that I haven't played yet, so maybe I get to learn how Lantern does a little bit. It's not intentional, Silph. I'm not cheating, I promise. I'm not getting outside help. But let's jump in here into round 6. Again, it needs to win both round 6 and round 7 for a chance at that tied victory if no one does sweep. And the Raichu, really nice lead up against the Mandibuzz with this swap into a Escavalier, and we see the counter swap into the Heracross, which again, I always feel like it should be super effective against the Escavalier because it has the Steel typing, but it has the Bug typing as well. Landing the Mega Horn onto the Heracross, which definitely hurts, but this Rock Blast will hurt a lot in return. So at this point, Escavalier is going to be able to win that matchup at the cost of the shield advantage. So Crustle comes in, going for the full Fury Cutter farm down, but not going to be able to stop it from getting a charge move. Could be a Drill Run, could be a Mega Horn. We haven't actually... Okay, we know that it's Drill Run, Mega Horn now. So Game 1 can tend to be that bit of an information gathering mission. But we're seeing the Mandibuzz come in now. Rock Slide, bada bing. Going to do a lot of damage here if it goes through. and almost down to half health. Few more Fury Cutters, but unfortunately, it's not as good as the Raichu against Mandibuzz, so we'll just have to kind of wait and see how this matchup does end up going. I kind of wouldn't be surprised if Beckachu does end up swapping out here, but it looks like they're going to decide to keep the Raichu so they can get a Wild Charge off onto whatever's in the back, because I don't think there's anything that wants to eat a Wild Charge. It is actually the Crustle in the back, and again, it's another Smackdown Crustle. Smackdown Crustle is apparently everywhere, but going to be able to get this Wild Charge off. Yeah. Zubzo still has a shield though, so this is a risk. This is a big risk. Does it pay off? Lag is keeping the suspense up. Niantic going, oh, does get the shield. One more. So can burn the shield here. Not click another fast move like we saw in that earlier battle. Just wait for it to come up. Click the Wild Charge. This will take out the Crustle, and that is GG's. Really nicely done there. The rain is actually getting pretty loud, so I'm kind of hoping that doesn't come through. Apologies if it is, but we are going to game 2 of round 6 now. Again, Beckachu on the heels of the victory there, but okay, we are jumping straight into it. We've got the Heracross up against the Crustle. Actually, I don't know if have we seen this from this perspective before? I feel like we've only seen it from the other perspective. It is a little bit differently again, because it is the Smackdown Crustle as opposed to the Fury Cutter. So we'll see how they end up playing it out. Burn that first shield on the rock side, as you kind of have to do. It actually makes this matchup a bit better for the Heracross, just because you know you can get to those charge moves faster. So unfortunately, it does shield off the X's there, but still going to get this rock side off. Rock Blast. Oh, man. I need to get, like, palm cards or something. Gets the Rock Blast off to take the Crustle out. And then, I guess there's nothing... I mean, Graveler would be nice to see as well. It would be nice to see, but in comes the Scavalier. Gonna eat a Rock Blast. Gonna eat a Rock Blast before taking it out. That's really, really nice. Does get that last shield out of Zubzo. And Beckachu, again, getting in this shield advantage situation. It's one of the big aims in the Lunar Cup, I feel, getting yourself in that advantageous position with the shields, because it can just put you in such a strong position, especially with Crustle, with how much damage it can do to pretty much everything with Rock Slide. As we're about to see, this Rock Slide is going to just evoke carnage. Yeah, boom, takes it down to half health. We've seen the swap. We swap into Raichu. Raichu's going to be able to tank any move from this Mandibuzz. And then I don't think you can go for the full farm down. I think you have to go for even a Brick Break. And yeah. Is this actually going to take out Mandibuzz, or you have to go for one more Volt Switch? Oh no, it does take it out for sure. And then has the Wild Charge as well. Ready to throw, ready to take it out. And this is going to take out game 2 of round 6, which is going to take out the round. But we're going to see that last battle anyway. Unless I'm caught unprepared like that last time. And it turns out that was the missing middle battle. But we are going to game 3 here. And we're seeing that Raichu lead, who has seriously been doing some like good work in this cup up against the Scavalier. And I guess we just look. We've seen Beckachu play before. I have a feeling they're just going to go straight for the nuke, try and do that big damage, or get the shields out as well, which has been a winning strategy so far. Gets the shield out of Scavalier before swapping into the Heracross. Has to burn the shield here, just has to, and then should be able to get to the Rock Blast. Man, before Scavalier could get another one. We're seeing the swap out to Mandibuzz, so. Unfortunately, slightly mistimed there, maybe overfarmed a little bit. Not able to get the Rock Blast off when they probably wanted to, so at this point, it looks like the charge move just didn't go off, so definitely unfortunate when that happens. I think some things don't go to plan, but able to get that one Rock Blast off, farms a little bit more before Mandibuzz can get another one off and gets the second Rock Blast that will take it out if it goes through. Oh, no, whoa, I was wrong. That Mandibuzz is very much still alive. That is a living turkey. But Aerialace takes out the thingamajiggy. Raichu comes in, get that 1 Volt Switch farm, which could actually be pretty huge. As Wireless comes in, we've seen this matchup before where the Brick Breaks do add up, but at this point Raichu's really low on health, so the Dragon Breaths are actually going to make this a lot more problematic than it was the last time we saw it. Oh, able to hang on, not able to hang on. Crustle's going to have to come in here, and Body Slam would be resisted, so you have to go for the Dark Pulse here, which isn't going to take out Crustle. I think the Crustle might be able to get to an... Oh, there's still a shield on Zubzo's side. That's a little bit rough. This is going to get that shield, presumably. Oh, no, letting it go. Put the Scavalier in the back. I mean, I get this is still a winning matchup for Zubzo, I suppose, but yeah, that's going to be GG's, but still taking out round 6 2-1, and that is going to bring us to round 7 up against Big Green 7. Now, Big Green has been featured on this channel before, I think sweeping a 7-round tournament, so Big Green is no stranger here, and at this point in the tournament, Big Green is 6-0. So this is Beckachu's not. Beckachu needs to win to stop Big Green from sweeping the tournament and land that 6-1 tight victory. Big Green has won either way. Big Green is going to be on the top of this tournament. They're happy as Larry. They just prefer to get that 7-round win to increase their rank a little bit. But they've got that Mandibuzz, this Wireless, the Heracross, Frostlass, Alolan Graveler, and Galvantula. Again, we're seeing these sort of... Electric is like this special typing on the side. Not every team's going to have an Electric. We saw the Lantern was not the last one as well, but wasn't used. We saw the Raichu earlier on. Obviously, we've got Beckachu's Raichu as well. It's a very interesting sort of pick that... actually, what am I talking about? Alolan Graveler, biggest like electric type of the game. One of the biggest Pokemon in the cup. I was more talking about the non-rocky versions, the extra ones. But, yeah, no, it's kind of interesting. I don't think I've seen a Galvantula play in this cup either. So I'm kind of excited to see it. I feel like... Oh, no. The internet's... I'll be back in a sec. Okay. We're back. Power's back on. So we are jumping into round 7. Raichu up against the Graveler. Again, Beckachu has to win this round to take it all out. Well, to go 6-1. Deny Big Green the sweep and yeah, tie the 6-1 victory. But Big Green does get that extra Volt Switch through, which definitely puts this Raichu in a little bit of a scary position here. Looks like they have gone for the charge move at the same time, but Raichu's winning CMP. This Brick Break not going to take out the Graveler, so can hang on there. And now that Graveler has tons and tons of energy ready to throw. So Beckachu actually shielding it. It is the Stone Edge, which is the big nuke move from that Graveler. So definitely a nice shield, but not out of the woods yet. So we're going to see another Stone Edge come through, take out that Raichu, and at this point Heracross going to come in, farm all the way down. Not going to be able to get a third charge move off from that Graveler. In it comes the Frostlass, which is not a bad spot because of how much energy this Heracross actually got from losing that lead matchup. So this could put it in a pretty strong spot. Lands that first Rock Slide, and at this point it's going to get another one unless that Frostlass does burn its energy. So I feel like Big Green definitely could have farmed a bit more there, but I mean, it doesn't matter too much. Takes it out, swapping into the Heracross now that Crustle's come in. I feel like, again, because Beckachu's got that energy advantage on that Crustle, it could put him in a pretty strong position here. That Frostlass is really scary in the back, though, and kind of forced to burn the shield against this Heracross, so Beckachu could potentially go for the full farm down. I'm not sure if they're going to... They're going to... No, surely not yet. Going for the X's here, and I feel like Frostlass is going to outpace, because X's isn't going to be enough, and Frostlass still has a shield as well. So yeah, there's pretty much nothing that Beckachu could do there, even though the energy advantage really helped out. Yeah, unfortunately, it just didn't work out for them again. I guess maybe the lineup was too strong. I mean, Frostlass, I guess the shield advantage came into play for Big Green in a pretty big way there. Yeah, I guess that's really the biggest thing. But Beckachu obviously now has to win both of the next 2 battles against Big Green 7, who again is a really, really strong battler. So going with the Crustle into the Frostlass lead, which I think is one of these matchups again where Crustle needs to land this Rock Slide. I don't need to say it again. Beckachu going straight for the nuke. I'm going to try and put that pressure onto this Frostlass. Does get the shield out of Big Green here. Trying to get it into a spot where it isn't like that last one where he does end up with the shield disadvantage. So shielding up the Avalanche. And then going to go... Oh no, we're actually going to swap out to the Graveler. So going for another Rock Slide to take this thing out. And then we've still got that Heracross in the back again. So you're going to be able to get a bit of farm. Could see a charge move coming through from the Graveler. It's not going to be a Stone Edge because that would have taken 1 more Volt Switch. It was only 3. Oh wait, it is a Stone... Wait, was there... Do I have that... I kind of... Okay, I am evidently wrong, and I will leave it here. I will not re-record because that'll just be on the record, as I am clearly not as good as Beckachu or Big Green for sure. But I'm going for the Rock Slide here. Gonna land it onto that Heracross, which is really nice. I'm not sure if there's a little bit of lag there, if it all caught up or what the deal was. I might have just, like, you know, when you look at a moving object and it stays still for a little bit, maybe it was just that. But it does get the shield out of the Heracross there. Going to see the Raichu come in now. Maybe force the shield and then going to be able to farm this Heracross down, and then it's the Frost in the back. So a Wild Charge is actually, I think it's going to be enough here to take the Frostlass out, and then only to get to one more Volt Switch to take out the Heracross in the back, I think. Oh, another one. Oh, barely scratching through that. Beckachu bring it to a 1-1 matchup, and that means we are going into the final battle of the tournament for all the marbles. Big Green wins this battle, he sweeps the entire tournament. Beckachu wins this battle, he gets that 6-1 tied victory and denies the sweep. Okay, so it turns out that Beckachu actually put the first game twice, so it went 1-2, 1-3. So I got really confused. I just casted that entire battle again. I was like, well, it's going the exact same way. What's the deal here? And then Beckachu still ended up losing, so I was very confused. But now we are going to the final battle. I'm not sure where I cut the previous thing, but we're going into the final battle here. Big Green has to win for the sweep. Beckachu needs to win for the 6-1 tie. We've got the Crustle lead going to Frostlass, which not a bad spot for the Crustle, but again, as we mentioned before, needs to land that Rock Slide. So we'll see if Big Green, Big Green see how Beckachu's played. Beckachu's going with those big nukes straight away and doesn't shield the Rock Slide. Oh, that's really unfortunate. And Crustle shielding up. We're going to be able to farm down, take out a full Pokemon already, and the battle's barely started. This is definitely a nice start, but again, the shield disadvantage. This came into play in that first battle. So we'll see how it ends up playing out this time around. Going for that Rock Slide, going to weaken that Graveler down. At this point, you could swap into the Heracross, because Heracross is going to have play against anything that Big Green would then swap out. But looks like they're going to decide to leave the Crustle in, eat this Stone Edge, and now bring in the Heracross. Just try and go for... They're not going to get a full farm. Heracross is... Graveler is going to get a charge move off. So Heracross deciding to shield here. And then would be able to farm all the way down if we don't see a swap out, which we do see the swap out. But it's a Mandibuzzed in the back, which means Raichu comes to save the day. That Heracross holding on to that rock blast of energy, ready to fire when it might have to come in. Because those foul plays, Raichu's only going to be able to tank one. Another foul play is going to take it out here. This Wild Charge kind of forces the shield from Big Green. And then also, Raichu is going to force the energy being thrown for... Oh, no, we're not seeing the energy. Oh, it's an Air Slash. It's an Air Slash Mandibuzz, so it's actually... Maybe... Oh, no. Big Green going down there. And at this point, going to be able to get this Brick Break off, take out the Gravel. And that is going to be GG's. Beckachu taking out the Ram, taking out Big Green, stopping Big Green from getting the sweep, and putting him at 6-1 to tie in this massive, massive Lunar Cup tournament. But yeah, taking out that huge PvP HQ tournament. With that said, huge congrats to Beckachu. Again, really interesting team. I actually really like Raichu. Like, I don't think I'd quite... I don't think I gave enough stock to a Volt Switch Raichu before now. I think Beckachu's really kind of shown me that it is a very powerful Pokemon. Can do a lot of work there. I mean, it just clutched at the end there, getting those 2 Wild Charges off onto that Air Slash Mandibuzz. Really, really nicely played. Beckachu, I mean, I think we saw earlier on in that tournament, there was lots of spots where that, like, Beckachu was just hanging on by a thread and then able to kind of clutch that victory. So really well played, and really well played by all of the opponents as well. I mean, Big Green here especially, I mean, one of the best battlers of all time. I think, again, Big Green's been featured on this channel before. Definitely a really strong battler, winning a lot of big tournaments. So still, I mean, again, still won this tournament as well. Just a 6-1 tie with Beckachu. In some of the other battles, actually still finishing up as I'm recording this tournament, so I'm not sure who else is at the top. I think Inadequance might also be 6-1 in this tourney, but with that said, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you again to Beckachu for sharing the footage, because it's definitely a lot of fun to watch this sort of stuff. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, especially that subscribe one. Thank you to my patrons and supporters over on Twitch as well for being super cool people. And we still have the battles on screen. There we go. So yeah, thanks to everyone. And but yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to watch some other Lunar Cup content, it's over there. Also, subscribe if you haven't already, because this is where, I mean, there's a whole bunch of Silph content coming out on this channel. So what are you doing? Hit the subscribe button, guy. It doesn't cost you anything. You can just... Yeah, bye.